You need to come. My name is Danielle Little, and I am the owner of Organically Me. This is a company that I started about 4 years ago, but I've actually been selling products for the last 3 years. And I started it because I learned that I was allergic to sulfates. So, doing the reading and the research, I found out that sulfates is in everything that goes on the body. I am also allergic to sulfur, which is in some penicillins or antibiotics that we take. So I know I cannot take that. So I'm going to say for 20 years, I have been dealing with, it felt like the top of my head was on fire. And I would go to the dermatologist. I was going to my doctor, and no one could tell me what was going on with my skin. So I also stopped buying antiperspirants because when you wear antiperspirants, it keeps you from sweating. Our body is meant to sweat. But when you wear deodorants, what deodorants does, it deodorizes. It covers up the smell. You're still sweating, but it covers up the smell. So what happened was I started using Tom's deodorant. I used it for about 2 or 3 days, and the next thing I know, my arms felt like they were on fire. And I was holding up my arms like this. My skin was flaking because it had sulfate in it. So from there, I figured out what was wrong with my head. My head was actually burning.
Wow.
So, and every time I went to the doctor and it would feel like it was on fire, it would feel like it's warm to me, they would just look at it and go, oh, I don't see anything, blah, 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 blah. So, and I'm going to tell you what happened to me recently. So, one of my coworkers, she sells, what is it called? Herbalife. So she was bringing me samples and things in to try. I really love the shakes and everything because I started doing shakes at the beginning of the year, but I only do it for breakfast, and I was making it with spinach and mixed fruit. So I wanted to add the protein and some of the flavors that Herbalife had. So I tried it. And I was just drinking it. It's my protein, was vanilla, chocolate. I was switching up. I was using the cookies and cream, and I'm just making shakes. So one morning, I got up, and my tonsils were double the size. My throat was closing. So, still not thinking, because I looked on the back of one of the things that I got from Herbalife, and I did not see sulfate on there. So what happened was I went to the doctor. He said, oh, it looks like some white stuff is back here. Let me take a culture. He thought it was sweat strap because there was no drainage. So after 2 days of taking, or 2 or 3 days of taking this antibiotic, I realized I wasn't getting any better. And the doctor had called and said it wasn't strep. I looked on the back of all of the cans that I got from Herbalife, and it's in the protein.
Oh, wow.
So it was the sulfate, and it was closing my throat.
Oh, my goodness.
So my tonsils were swelling. The tonsil in the back that hangs down, it was like double, triple the size. So I was still drinking this, but my throat wasn't getting better. So I looked on the back. I was like, oh my goodness. So I ran up to the store, and I got some Benadryl. So that is the reason why I started Organically Me. I sold for other companies that also sold the organic products. I got upset because they were adding products, they were changing sizes, and it was like a home type company where you go to people's homes, like now, and you do your presentation to sell. Well, I got upset with them, and a young lady that I work with, she was telling me she would make her own soaps. So she would let me try them and everything, and I was like, wow, I kind of like this. And so then I was asking her, I said, well, do you mind if I have the ingredients of your deodorant? Because I hadn't tried her deodorant. She was like, yeah, sure. So I went up to Mom's and I got another brand of deodorant just to hold me over. So it took a lot of testing in order for me to find out what would hold me. As a deodorant, and if you notice, I'm not saying deodorant antiperspirant. I'm just saying a deodorant. So finally, the one that she gave me, it didn't hold me, so I had to do some research and add and subtract and move on. So what I ended up doing was I finally got the deodorant ingredient that was holding me. So I told my husband, I said, wow, how would you feel if I start making my own deodorants? He was like, I don't care what you make. Yeah, that sounds good. Make your deodorant, make soaps, make this. And I was like, I ain't no plan on making no soap.
I would say deodorant.
So I said deodorant. So I bought the stuff to make the deodorant, had to do the research on it. So I said, okay, let me try the soaps. So my first one was a complete failure because it's something that they call trace. So I caught myself making lavender and I put the lavender flowers in there and they all fell to the bottom. But on the next one and ever since then, I've learned how to do that. But today, what we're going to do is one of my favorites is we're going to make a foot scrub using your company?
Young Living?
Using Young Living peppermint oil that Athena has gotten together for us. So
I have the oil.
I have the dead sea salt, and this is a Himalayan salt that is mixed in. The Himalayan salt is pink. So what you're going to do is, actually, if you don't want to, you don't have to take off the tops. You can just let them open.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So also what I have in here is I have, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I noticed that lately a lot of people have been coming to me telling me that their children are allergic to peanut oil or anything dealing with peanuts, or any kind of nut oil. So me, I usually use sweet almond oil because it's lighter. But today I brought you all, this is 1 ounce of almond oil. No. This is 1 ounce of olive oil because I didn't know if people were going to be allergic to nuts. So here's your 1 ounce of almond oil. So just to give you the ingredient, and plus I also have a paper for you just to tell you how to make this if you ever want to make it. Number one, you do not have to use salt. You can use the house sugar. You can use regular salt. You can use any type of home product. Any type of products that you have in your house. Like, you do not have to buy the Himalayan oil. You do not have to buy the Himalayan salt. You do not have to buy the dead sea salt. You can use regular salt from your kitchen. And so basically, when you make your oil, it's what I call, so I have 2 ounces, which is an even mixture of the Himalayan salt and the the dead sea salt already in there. So for every 2 ounces, you use 1 ounce of oil. So all of that oil is going to go into that. So you can pour the oil in.
You put all of it in?
You can pour all of it in.
Wow.
And if you want,
And
you
this
can take
is
the tops
olive
off
oil?
and just pour.
You said
just
this
pour
is
directly in.
Mixture of
That's
olive oil?
That's just olive
Just
oil.
olive oil.
use all of it. Just take it off and just pour it in easier that way. And so you're going to take the spoons that I've given you, and you're just going to mix it in. You just want to stir it. So right there, you have scrub. You really don't have to use it on your feet. You can use it anywhere, but that's just a plain scrub if you don't want to put the essential oils in it. But we are going to use the Young Living Essential Peppermint Oil. Now, when you use peppermint oil or certain types of oils, they have some where they call top note, medium note, and low note.
Base note.
Base note. Okay, is the base note the strongest?
No, the top is the strongest.
So the top is the strongest, which is peppermint. That is one of the strongest. The other one I know is sandalwood. That's another stronger one. So when they are strong like that, you do not have to use as much oil. So basically what you want to do is put 1 to 2 drops of oil in there.
And that's undiluted peppermint, okay?
That's undiluted peppermint, and so you only want to put 1 or 2 drops.
Is it coming out? They're new little droppers.
They
You have to
sometimes
put it
they
to the side.